What's up, guys? Welcome to the Tristcast. Before we get into this week's episode, I invite you to follow the Tristcast and leave a rating. Peace. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the Tristcast. I am your host, Tristonderieux, and I invite you to sit back, relax, catch a vibe, and enjoy the show. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Before we get into this week's episode, I just want to say thank you all for your love and support. And if you have any suggestions whatsoever that you would like to hear on next week's episode, please leave a comment with that suggestion and maybe it'll be on next week's episode. All right, guys, peace out. I'll see you in today's episode. Hello, beautiful people. It's a beautiful morning here over here at Missouri, where I'm at, and I just have to say I am so grateful to be alive, and I just want to start on a moment of gratitude before we jump in. As we did last time, it's always important to be able to pay attention to what we have and what is going on around us and the synchronicities that are happening. I do not believe in coincidences, and I believe that we are... That was beautiful. Pardon that. I wasn't expecting that to come out. But I had Pop-Tarts this morning and a orange, and I don't know which one that was. But to keep that gratitude going, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything happens for a reason and everything is happening as it should, which is an incredible feeling because I used to wonder how to connect with flow. And it's kind of like what I've said to other family members about like doing certain things that you would say might catch the attention of, like police or something like that, just believing that you are protected. And so how I see it is I'm constantly believing that everything is happening for me rather than to me, and that everything is happening in my favor, whether or not it may seem, whether or not I understand it at the moment or not, which is a beautiful way of seeing life because, we're going to get into it later. But I have a lot of discussions with my friends about life and how we would like to move forward, and we want to get to where we want to be so fast, yet that's not going to help us get there any quicker. But it's a beautiful morning here, and I am just so happy to be alive because a year ago I probably would have been like, nah, dog, take me out. I'm gone. But no, man, finding that peace and tranquility in the unknown, not knowing when something's going to happen or not knowing if everything's going to go to plan, which is beautiful. I used to be someone who always made a plan, wanted to plan things out, and then I would get so upset. Why isn't anything going the way I planned? And it took me so long to understand it. It's because nothing ever goes to plan. So when you try to be in control and you're trying to put in a plan, make it happen, and then once everything falls apart, you're like, well, what the hell was the point of even trying? That's the case. That's the situation. You assume that everything's going to go to plan and that everything should go to plan just because you have been planning for it. But that's not how it goes. Life has this funny way of showing you that you're not in control, and it'll throw it up in the air, and you're going to be like, what do I do? And you're going to freak out unless you have figured out that you must release control and that there's not much that you can do when life comes in the way. And I think that's beautiful because, I have these kind of conversations with so many people, and at first we don't realize it, but then when we actually hear it, that's when we're like, wow, that's beautiful. And I'm so happy. Like, I'm just so happy that I got to learn it myself, because I used to be a person that was go, go, go all the time, making expectations on life and what was going to happen in my days, only for it to not go to plan. Me be, annoyed, irritated, frustrated that nothing's going, quote unquote, my way. And I just think that's a great way to get us flowing and get us started. You feel me? Um, I also, on a good note, there's going to be a lot of good notes today. But on another good note, yesterday I did my workouts, and yesterday was legs. I decided that I want to do my workouts. I want to do leg day Monday and Wednesdays, and I want to do my shoulders and biceps on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yesterday I did my leg repetitions, and I used to never be a fan of legs, but it got to the point where I was like, I'm not fitting my pants and I'm way too skinny. So I was like, I got to do something to fill out these pants. And the jeans I'm wearing right now used to never fit me. I used to have to wear a belt, and I used to have to take the waistband of these jeans and fold them so then they would fit me, because I had no ass and I had no legs, like no thighs, nothing. I was just skin and bones before. And now lately I've been working out more, and specifically yesterday I increased my repetitions. So I do about 4 sets, and I do 20 repetitions of leg lunges, dumbbell lunges to be more exact, and I do squats. 20 repetitions of squats. I do 4 sets of 20 each alongside my ab workouts, my push-ups. I do 4 sets of 25 push-ups. I do 4 sets of 25 sit-ups. I did 4 sets of 25 lying leg raise yesterday. My abs were freaking killing me, bro. Could not do it for I could do it. I did do it. I succeeded, and I was so proud of myself. Like, I was literally in the mirror just being like, "You're the man. You did this." And having that, like, connecting to myself and being able to speak so kindly to myself, hyping myself up. Dude, I used to do that so angsty. If that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I used to be so angsty to where, like, oh man, yeah, like, I'm so awesome. But then again, like, part of me was just like, you don't believe that. And I've gotten to the point where I believe it. And then I'm constantly hyping myself up. I'm constantly throwing myself into a place where I can upgrade. Talked about it on the last episode I posted. Earth Day is a positive day, where I discussed how being able to really talk to yourself in a kind way and being able, dude, that self-love is so important. And I literally get up and I'm like, dude, you thought you wouldn't be able to do it, and you just smacked it out of the ballpark. And I was just so happy with myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the growth I've made. I'm proud of the fact that I've actually put in the work. I put in the work, and I don't want to. I actually said it to my friend Angelica like a week or so ago. I said, I am not holding back on myself anymore, any longer. I can't. I'm going to give myself, and I'm going to throw myself in, because I know what I deserve. I know what I want, and I'm going to get what I want. And I'm going to bust my ass to get there. And that goes into, so many things in my life and the people around me. And I'm just excited for this incredible journey. But one of the things I want to start with on discussing today is communication. I think I've discussed this several times before, but I think it's found its way back into my life because it's something I need to discuss more. Communication is very important. Being able to connect and communicate what you're feeling, and to be able to take in what another person is feeling or what another person has to say. Being an active listener and not just looking to get what your side needs to get out, but also seeking what other people need to say. Now, there's points where, we have to give ourselves extra love before we can actually be there. And, we're going to be able to give pieces of ourselves at certain times. But I think that we get to some points where we may be so involved into what we may be feeling and going on in our own life that we forget how to communicate that to people around us, especially the people we love. When it comes to communicating what we're feeling and what's going on in our life, it's really important when it comes to keeping your relationships alive. Because say you're going through a very hard time and you are just not able to reach out or communicate, and people are trying to communicate to you, but you're just not giving back. That's not, as much as we care and we want to see you happy and feeling that joy and feeling the love in your life from internally and not externally. We want to be able to be there for you, but if we have to give you space, we will. But us friends of those who are going through a hard time, we really care about you. And we want you to be open with us. We want to be able to help you. Because if we can't help you and we can't do anything to possibly make it easier for you, obviously we're not always going to be able to. But if we can't help you lead into a direction, or if we can't help you if we can't help you walk into a direction that's going to bring you positive growth in this way, you're going to lose your relationships, because we're trying to help and we're doing everything we can, and we need you just as much as you may need us. Like, you may be going through something and you're not able to communicate it, and we're trying to communicate with you, and we got stuff going on too, but nothing's linking up. It can damper it, and it can just make it, we're not keeping it healthy, and we're not discussing how we're feeling. You may have a friend who just wants to discuss with you how they truly feel on the inside, but because you're not giving them access because you got stuff going on yourself, that's leading y'all to not be close, and you're starting to drift apart. There's an incredible song I heard on TikTok, and it made me think about one of my close friends who's going through a hard time right now. And it was talking about drifting away. And I wanted to send it to them, and I was just like, I didn't, because I didn't feel solidified in that friendship, because of that's what's going on. Like, we're not communicating. You're not giving me a way that I may help. You're not inviting me into your life in this time where you're hurting. So how am I supposed to help you? How am I supposed to be a great friend? My love languages aren't the same as, doing certain things as it may be for them or for any other person. My love language can absolutely be, I want to give you my time, because quality time is important to me. And if I can set a certain amount of my time aside for you, to give it to you, to give you some sort of love, that's my way. If I'm there with you physically or in the moment, physical touch, if I can tell that you really need a hug, if you need a hand on your shoulder or, anything, that's another way. So, I don't always respond the same way as everybody else around me, or the significant few that may be going through something harsh, because everybody's going through something, everybody's dealing with something. Even if it may not seem like it. And even if, say for me, for example, I may jump for joy, and I am very joyful right now, but I still got stuff going on, and I still have to give myself time. I made a goal this past week for this week currently, where I am trying to meditate at least once every day before bed. And I did a meditation yesterday. I did yoga nidra, and it's on one of it's literally on my favorite meditation app called Better Sleep. It used to be Relaxed Melodies, but Better Sleep. I'll leave a link in the bio or in the description. And it's just very, very interesting to see how just doing 20 minutes of yoga nidra, oh my God. I remember right before, because after that I got on PlayStation, I played some Siege with Emma. And I I sat down, I laid down, and this yoga nidra was based on the points between your eyebrows and your navel. And in it required you to do 3 deep breaths and let them out slowly. And then each breath you take in, starting with the area between your eyebrows, you breathe in through this area and you go down to your navel by letting out. And then you inhale from your navel and you breathe out through your I forget which chakra this is. And you do that 3 times. And you'll end on the navel breathing out through this. And I remember doing that and I felt so incredibly relaxed. It was the area between my mind's eye, and my heart. And being able to connect them both. It was so, so beautiful. And then they do a 61 point, not a diagnosis, but so you do 61 points of your body and you relax each part. So it started with your middle of your neck, middle of the base of your neck, off to your right shoulder, your right elbow, your right wrist, your right thumb, so on. And then it goes over and it will go backwards. So like you'll go to your pinky and then you'll say right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, middle of your base of your neck. And then it'll do the other side. And when I tell you, by the time I finished this, my body was so incredibly relaxed, I can't even feel it. And now, people who've never done a meditation may say, that doesn't even make sense. It may not make sense to you, but when you are able to quiet your mind to the point that everything in your body is still, that changes your entire perspective because you are starting to release. And when I was doing this meditation, it also, it also invited you to picture a set of pictures in your mind, feel what they bring. If they don't feel anything at all, that's fine, but you're just visioning it and you're making your mind work while also your body is just completely relaxed. And then it ends on this hidden temple in between the jungle, and you're seeing flowers, you're smelling their aromas, and you sit with someone and it actively makes you feel sensations in your body like you are the one controlling the sensations in your body. So like one of the sensations was pure joy. I felt my body heat up. I felt my heart race just as the meditation was guiding. And then it says cool your body. I felt my body in certain areas cool down as if I had just stepped outside in like 44-degree weather. And then it says heat your body up. And then it says feel tranquil. And it was just so different. I couldn't 100% get the sensation of tranquility down, but maybe at the same time I just didn't recognize it. But one thing I will say, what is tranquil to me is when my entire body is relaxed. When that 61 point situation was going on, that was when I was at perfect peace. My mind was empty and I was just chilling. And that was a great moment. That was such a great moment for me. And dude, I just highly recommend meditating because it's so different. It's so different. And I talk about this a lot, especially with my journey in spirituality, being able to sit yourself down and being able to slow yourself down. As a person with ADHD and this brain, being able to meditate and slow it all down is so cool because you'll be thinking all your life that you'll never be able to slow it down, but then once you find something that gets it to chill out, it just feels great. It was a great meditation. Like I said, I'll leave Better Sleep in the description because I highly recommend people check it out, and I believe I can gift 30-day free trials, and I definitely believe that more people need it and deserve it, because giving yourself that time, especially before bed, and just, even if it's not right before bed, Better sleep's perfect because you can meditate as you're trying to go to bed. So, like, most of the time, if you're doing a yoga nidra on better sleep, it's more than likely going to lead you to a slumber. But because your subconscious is still active and you're listening to the words and you're listening to the guiding meditation and the music, it just still reaches that area. So then you're still able to do that work, even if you're asleep and you don't even recognize it. And most of the time, you'll wake up the next day with a great, like you got perfect sleep. And that's usually, that's awesome. And then what's even better about better sleep is you can also um pick your music and pick your sounds. So like if you're into color sounds like green sound or brown sound, you can get those. And then you can also get binaural beats, and you can also get, um solfeggio hertz and stuff like that, where it can be beneficial brain waves. That's really cool too. I use those constantly, especially when I'm trying to truly relax, because they have a relaxation hertz which really helps you. I think that's 136 or 64, one of them. And I just highly recommend it, and it'll be in this description for everyone to check out, especially if I'm able to get a 30-day free trial for most of the people that do it, because I refer a lot of people to this app. But it's just very important being able to slow yourself down, being able to become aware of what you're feeling and label it. I've talked about this before. Labeling what you're feeling and labeling your emotions and the stuff going on in your body leads you to be able to strengthen your emotional intelligence. So then in social settings, you'll be able to connect with people who may not be feeling what you're feeling and may need that extra help. That is very, very needed in this day and age, considering the fact that people are becoming so in tune with their feelings and trying to be attentive of the people around them. Because I believe that I am pushing a agenda on bringing closeness and people connecting with people on their differences and just trying to be more kind and loving to one another, rather than having expectations, rather than requiring things, instead of just seeking your own, like just seeking something out of someone, but just choosing to love people and give yourself to people in a healthy manner, in a healthy way. Because if you're not doing it in a healthy way and you're giving too much to yourself, it's gonna lead to resentment. It's gonna lead you to not be happy, and you don't want that. You want to feel love in yourself. You want to be solidified with yourself, and you want to be able to express that love from internally, so then you are feeling it, and then that will be able to expand outwards. I've said it before. Ram Dass's loving kindness meditation, instead of being so connected to the mind, taking your heart and opening your heart, loving everything. And it's so easy to do this meditation because all it takes is for you to get into your breath work, get in tune, and just express love. It opens your heart. You're less all about you, and you're more about the people around you and the things around you. You don't even have to say, "Oh, I love my mom, I love my dad, I love my brother, I love." You can say, "I love the trees, I love the clouds, I love the wind, I love the grass, I love dogs, I love cows." Just that will open your heart to a way that you will be more open outwardly, rather than expecting so much pain. There's going to be pain in life. It's one of the few things that we have to experience. But embracing the entire experience of life is so important. Like lately, I've been starting my mornings with a prayer, and it's just gratitude. Thank you for this life. Thank you for another opportunity to experience life and everything it has to offer. Embracing that everything may not go your way today, but also embracing the fact that it is yet another beautiful day. You have another opportunity to make it your own very kind of best. It's a beautiful way of seeing life. I think this is a good time to move on to another topic that I wanted to talk about, though. And, I've experienced this in my own life, and I think it's something I need to talk about. And the topic is passive socialization. Now, I can read the definition, but that would involve me to be looking away. And, I'm already doing it. So I will check it out right now. Passive. What's up, guys? Wanted to take a quick moment and invite you to leave a comment on today's episode. Tell me something about yourself or tell me something about today's episode that you enjoyed. Peace. Socialization. When you hear that, you may not 100% know what it means. I looked it up, and and there's not even. Dude, what the hell? It's on WordPress. Okay, so there's actually, people are talking about it, but there's not really a definition it seems. Okay, well, let me talk about what I see. I'm gonna just say what I see passive socialization as. For example, if you and I don't talk on a daily basis, if we do not talk on a daily basis and we just reach out through messages, not messages, like social posts, like say we're on social media and I just get like a random post or a reel from Instagram or something like that every now and then, I view that as passive socialization. I see that as you not trying to necessarily socialize with me and communicate with me. I see that as you just trying to keep the relationship going because you believe sending me a social media post is it could be you thinking about me, but that's not my love language. And sending me a post is 100% I am grateful for it. So don't get it twisted. I am very grateful that someone thinks about me and wants to send me something like that. But when it becomes the only thing you do, that only shows me that you're not able to have a conversation with me and you're just trying to keep me reeled in just so like I'm there, because then like I am connecting to the fact, oh, they're thinking about me. This is enough for the friendship to keep on going. It's not enough. It's not enough. That's my boundary. If you're not able to meet, you know, a certain level in the friendship besides sending me a post, I understand you're trying to put in what you can and I appreciate what you're trying to put in, but no, that's not enough, because you are just trying to send one piece of information, but you're not even like connecting with me, and you're not doing more to add to this friendship. You're not doing more to increase our connection. As now I'm not saying I'm the better person, but how I communicate is like, I'll tell you, hey, I miss you. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, I just want you to know that I love you. That's my way. Like words of endearment, giving you that quality. Like I'm setting time aside to remind you how much you matter to my life. And I'm even trying to update you about stuff happening in my life. Like that is my thing. That is how I communicate, because I feel like I am adding to it. I am involving you into my life. I'm not just sending you a post. I believe when you're just sending a post, that's like an acquaintance friendship, because you have so many friends on social media that they'll just send you a post because like you know each other and they're like, "Oh dude, look at this post. This is really dope." And that's cool, that's still cool, because that still gives you the opportunity to get an idea of this other person who's connecting with you, and that's great because that's how you can increase and upgrade the friendship. But say you've been friends for like a a, a decent amount of time, not like a huge amount of time where like you have a lot of history, but say you've known each other for a good minute. You've been through a little bit of growth together, but not too much, not really a lot. And all you're doing is, hey, I sent you a post. Just sent you a post. Oh, dude, it's been 3 months. Hey, here's a post. You're not active in my life. You're not really a friend. You're just an acquaintance, or you're just someone who comes in and out, and you're just trying to get some energy from me, what you can at that time. I don't roll with that. Nope, I won't. because being being active in someone's life and having active socialization skill, if that's even a thing. But I see it, instead of being passive with your socialization and being active in someone's life, because we're friends, and if you consider us close friends, don't be passive with me. Seriously, don't. Because if you're being passive with me, that shows me that I don't have space in your life. And I've reached a point in my life where you won't be in my life and you can just step out. I've taken my space because I know my worth and I know what I deserve, and I know that there are people in my life that truly appreciate me for who I am, appreciate me for what I'm doing with my life, and appreciate what I have to offer for theirs and what I can do in their life. I know people appreciate me. The people that really care about me appreciate me and aren't just going to send me a post and then not say anything at all, or I'll send them a post and they just like it and say nothing. You know, not always do you have to respond and not always do you have to do something for me. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is if it is a, what's the term? If I'm starting to see a pattern, I'm going to start spacing myself because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for someone who doesn't have time for me. And that's just the truth. And it may hurt and it may sound like a bitchy thing. I don't care. I know what I need from my friends and I know what my friends need from me. And I'll give myself as much as I can give to them. Even if I know, me and my friends, I know we're busy. I know we got stuff going on. I know that we're putting in work to get to where we want to be. And that's why we are so solidified in our friendships, because I can be 1,000 miles away and I may not see them for 4 months, but they know damn well when I get back, I'm gonna be like, yo, we're going to the brewery. Yo, we're hanging out. Let's go and play poker. Let's do something where we are together, have quality time. I'm putting myself out there and they're putting themselves out there. And that's why it's really important. You can't just be passive with your friendships. You can't be passive with your loved ones. If you care about people, you have to put in the effort. And if you're not putting in the effort, that's only showing people that you don't care enough and that you're not actually interested. You're more interested in what's going on in your brain and what's going on in your life, that you can't even be able to push yourself a little bit, to be able to get out of that shell. Get out of that shell. Sometimes we are depressed and we can't get up. But if you close out your friends and you don't give them access to you to help, what are you doing? You're being self-destructive. I've done that to my friends. There was a point in a relationship previously in my life where I was so involved in trying to get her back that I was pushing away my friends. I was so depressed. I was so miserable because I didn't have the love in my own life coming from myself that I was pushing away my friends. And I just started reading short stories about this kind of stuff. When you're so involved with what's happening and what you think you need, and you're allowing this negativity to not only stay within you but expand outwards, you're taking everyone down with yourself. And that's why it's important to do the work on your own. It's not. We're grateful for the people that are open about their lives and what's happening in their lives. But if you're not seeking help, or if you're not seeking the help of your friends, and you're just closing them out, you're not really doing anything to allow them the opportunity to help you. And we want to help you. We want to help you. We want to be in your life. I'm passionate about this kind of thing because, I care about people a lot. And, I've even had to talk to my own therapist about the fact that I can put in way too much energy, or I can put in more energy than I need to, that it's so unhealthy, and it leads to me resenting that person because I was not being more active in holding back energy that I shouldn't be, using. And that can lead to destruction, not only in my life, but in my friendships. And, that takes effort. And though it can feel embarrassing, it can feel distraughting, it can just overall not feel good. And, that impacts you greatly, but it impacts your friendships too. And then, you're just going to be hurting, and you're not really going to be getting anywhere farther than what you're really trying to do. Like, I'm going to switch the subject real quick. I don't know what happened overnight, but I have so much mucus in my nose, and I think I was just watching the most recent Cody Trains video on YouTube, because Cody Co was training for a Ironman, which is crazy. That's a triathlon where he's doing biking, running, and swimming. It's very inspiring. He inspired me to actually work out, and why I was able to do those reps yesterday. Also, I didn't get to say it earlier. If you're interested in hearing more about my workouts and the exercises I'm doing, leave a comment in today's episode and we can discuss it a little bit more together in the comments and stuff like that. And that would be really dope to communicate about. Maybe it'll be in the next video or something. But, watching this man train and get to this point where he is so proud of himself and he just wants to keep going and he wants to, succeed in this competition. I think that's really cool. And he was discussing in this video how he had just gotten over this sickness where he had like all this green mucus and sludge, and he was just coughing a lot. And like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I've been having this shit ever since I woke up, and like, I've had a phlegm in my throat. So if I caught it, I caught it. And damn, because supposedly this is going around quite a bit. It could just be pollen in, springtime. By the way, spring is my favorite mother freaking season. So even though it may bring certain things like this, I still love it. Everything gets green. Everything is just beautiful. It goes from dying trees to just brightness, and I love it. But to lead more into another subject, I was just having a conversation with one of my friends, and it was about the topic of life happening to us, life happening for us. And there's a lot of people out there that believe life happens to us, and that, we're victims to life, and that the things happening to us we can't control, and we're just so tired of it and we want to get out of it. And, I used to be in that. I used to be in that perception. I used to see it from that point of view. Like, last year when I was going through those jobs and I wasn't getting jobs and I was like freaking out, I didn't stop to think, like, because obviously at the time I didn't know what was going on, and I was more afraid of the inevitable rather than just living and instead of living and embracing the inevitable, I was so afraid of it. So you would find me in this point of view where I was like, oh, why is life happening to me? This isn't right. I don't deserve this. But when you start to change your perspective and you start to notice that life is actually happening for us, the things that we're experiencing are happening for us so that we can upgrade. I just use this analogy. Instead of playing video games, we can treat life as a video game where we are constantly upgrading. So everything that happens in our lives is happening for us to upgrade in one way or another, and it is our choice to put in the work and put in the effort to achieve those upgrades. Especially if we come from a family where we did not learn positive characteristics and we don't have positive traits, and we're actively seeing how we may be affecting the people around us. It is very, very, very important to take that step back and actually pay attention to our actions. It's actually this. I read this in a book. We can control our actions and what we do and how we respond. But once we commit those actions and once we commit to that response, the consequence is out of our hands. So it's really important. Are you trying to bring positive impacts to the people around you into your life? Or are you trying to bring negative impacts? Because the second you make a mistake, not a mistake, the second you make a decision that may ultimately hurt somebody or harm someone in some way or shape or form, that's going to lead to a negative consequence. And after that, and at that point, it is completely out of your control. You can't do anything about that consequence. No matter how many times you try to apologize, no matter how many times you try to give a gift or you try to do something that may seem sweet, it's like being a liar and just lying so much that someone doesn't believe you. And then when you're finally trying to tell the truth, the person's looking at you like, you've given me every reason not to trust you, and you're asking me to trust you on a whim. This is how I see it. That's the consequence. That's completely out of your hands because you've made so many decisions on doing a negative thing or doing a certain thing that may impact another person in a negative way that you can't even control how they'll respond to it in the future. And then you have to do it. Then you have to either make the decision, oh, am I going to be the immature one and just walk away from this person because they won't believe me? Or am I going to put in the work to change and to become more trustworthy, tell the truth more often, and not lie? That's just how it can be seen. Instead of being so involved within ourselves, it takes time. And I've said this before to someone close to my life, her name Mama Lynch. I'm in a place where I have the opportunity to do something that not a lot of people have the opportunity to do. Some people have to do a job that they really don't like and then come home and then have to put in that work, and it may be harder for them. They may not be ultimately able to do that. And I am very privileged in the way that I get to sit here and I get to do this work. But I also see myself as a teacher, as someone who is constantly learning and constantly taking education in. Because of what I'm experiencing, I can use to teach other people. So my privilege, I can use it to help others along the way, which is why it is my mission to help others and to put myself in a place where I'm not only living my life and having fun while I do it, but I'm also helping those around me. And because I'm doing that, it's helping me become better. And I align with that. And that's my life's mission. It's to be able to help people along the way who may not feel, I'm helping people along the way who may feel alone. Because there was a point where I felt alone. There's been several points in my life where I just felt so alone, and I was so involved only in myself. And there was a lot of places in my life where I was just in pain. I was seeking love through other people, and I wasn't seeking love through myself. And that is ultimately always going to be one of the main subjects of this podcast. In every episode, you can always count on the topic of loving yourself is so important because there are so many people who are raised in homes and around people and environments that they just provoke and they just bring in negativity, and they don't embrace love. Love is the number one thing that is attacked in our life, especially in this generation, in this era of time. No one wants love. Only the people that have done what it takes and done what is needed to find that love is the main important thing on this planet and in this life. There are so many outside forces trying to tear that apart. We shouldn't do that. There's going to be people that are going to say life isn't great because life just happens to us and there's nothing we can do about it. I don't believe that. That's not my way of thinking, and I won't take that as an answer. There is always a way that we can spark change. There is always a way that we can spark love instead of hate. There's always a way that we can promote love instead of promoting any sort of hate. And we have so many outside forces that just want to tear us apart. And I will not be torn apart. I can't. I won't be. I am so extendable, and I am so adaptable and flexible that no matter what happens, I can continue to promote the number one thing I love to promote, and that's love, peace, kindness, optimism. I see the good in every situation, whether or not it's hard or not. I have to do it. And I have to be the one to be able to look at it from that perspective. Because if I don't, how am I going to be able to lead others in the future who need that optimism, who need that light? We are lights to others so that we may guide them to their own sense of light. So then we can form more unions of light. So then there are less darkness and less people more involved in their shadow and more involved in their light, because we are all beings of light. That is how we start. We are spiritual beings experiencing reality, or we are spiritual beings experiencing a human life, and we have the opportunity to experience everything that life has to offer, whether or not it's going to be pain, it's going to be love, it's going to be joy, it's going to be everything all at once, all the time, and it's going to come in waves, as I've said before. And I'm just grateful that I have the platform to be able to bring people together in the same desire of love, compassion, not expecting people to understand us all the time, but promoting to be compassionate, whether or not there's any understanding at all. And I was discussing this on my episode with Emma on rights to the individual. It's it's like speaking on the grounds of the LGBTQ community and how much they have to bear because of the fact that there are people who choose to see it from a I don't understand it point of view, rather than, I just want to love you as you are, whether or not I am exactly like you or not. I just want you in my life because I love you, and having more love around me is going to benefit me way more than the pain that other people try to provoke onto me. And I just won't tolerate that anymore. And that's why a community of people who love each other and want to promote a society of love and kindness and compassion and help one another, rather than just looking out for ourselves all the time. We can do things for ourselves, but we can also look after the people around us. And if we're trying to get somewhere, this is an off-topic thing, this isn't a part of it, but this is something I need to say for those who may be going through something very hard right now. If you have an idea in your mind, if there's something that you want to make in this life, if there's this big time idea and you have this feeling in your heart that you are here and that your purpose is something far more bigger than, a normal job, or a job where you don't want to do, or you're not happy there, remember, everything that we work for and everything that we get our hands dirty for is ultimately going to be something we care about far more than something that we just get. Now, if you're used to getting something because that's the environment you come from, and you just come from more privilege, remember this: everything that we get, that we work for, is what we believe we deserve. And if you're not willing to get your hands dirty, and if you're not willing to bust your ass for what it is you want to create, if you're not willing to let go of what it is that you don't like and that you don't want to do, but you want to do it because it's going to get you to where you want to be one day, that is the point of view you need. And if you can't see that, and you're more worried about, this isn't what I want to do, I'm tired of being a pawn, listen. In one way, shape, or form, we're going to be used, and we're going to have to see it from a different perspective. If you have a big idea in your mind and there's something you want to make, remember, you got to bust your ass to get there. You can't cut corners, and you cannot benefit off of only the work of other people. That's not how life works. You have to work together. You have to get your hands dirty as well, because if you don't, you're not even going to appreciate it. You're going to believe, I can just get it because I got it, and I've gotten it before. So that is I don't want to say unrealistic way of seeing it. I want to say more so that is a impractical way of seeing it. It's an impractical way of seeing it, because it takes long days, several hours, and hard-ass work. It takes your back aching. It takes you being so mentally exhausted to finally get to where you want to be. And, yes, it's going to be difficult. And yes, half of us don't want to do it. But we have to. especially if it's something that we want to make in the benefit of other people. So use this knowledge and teach me as well. There's a comment section for a reason, especially now that the podcast is now on YouTube and you can watch this. Communicate with me. Talk to me. Get involved with me. Let's build a community. Let's build something together to where we can actually work together and build something where it can be not only the beneficial for us, but for the people around us. Come on, people. Come on, my beautiful freaking people. I love you all. And I want to see all of you expand yourself and upgrade. I want to see all of these beautiful mosaics that we call our bodies and our lives. I want to see this come together. I want to see what massive and beautiful art piece we can build together. And I think this is something that we shouldn't be held back on. I adore the idea that we can just build something that is so far different and unique that it changes people's whole entire perceptions. And I think this is a great time. With all things considered, with all things considered, with everything that's happening in each of our lives and how, we may be being affected, I love you. And you're always welcome to be able to talk to me. And I want more people to reach out to me to be able to be on the podcast. I want to hear more perceptions. I want to hear more people actually talk about what they're experiencing. So come on over. Let's go. Let's do it. And with that, I want you all to have a wonderful, wonderful week. I want you all to do something new. Do something that takes you out of your comfort zone. All right? This was a beautiful day to be able to sit down. And I'm looking forward to the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful evening, and a wonderful night. Peace.